I've been cut on before. I have a pacemaker, and that's something fun. You wake up and after surgery, you feel like somebody shot a load in your chest. But well, we hear comments from your man. It's from your man Adam. He says, "Thanks both of you all. Believe me, brother, she is great, coach. My wife, I adore her." Thank you, man. Appreciation. Oh, he adores you. I adore me more. So
You know
and
what's
all,
funny is when he started to come to me, he tricked me. Well, he tested me, let's say. So he was trying to decide who to pick as a coach. And he said, "Oh, I want to do this show in like, I don't know, it was like 12 weeks or something. It's called the Idaho Cup, and it was when we started working together over a year ago. And he was like, I want to do this show." And I was like, "I'm not the coach for you then." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because I won't put you on stage like right away. Like you got to work with me. We got to see what's under there. You got to grow. Like I'm not going to just throw you on stage. You'll lose, and I'm not about that." And he was like, "All right, I want to work with you." And then he tells me like after he does really well in the season and competes and does good, that he's like, that was a test, right? And I was like, "Oh, okay, it was, yeah." So turd, but I guess I answered right.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Sometimes you just want to see that. I just want to see where she's at. I just want to get her and just
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good that you have a good relationship here. Also, we got a comment from a man, Kiel. He asked like, how many poses does figure have? Again, it's just four because I think it's just
Yeah.
the
Well, and a model pose. So
starting
it's the
pose.
four
You
quarter
just
turns and then a model pose.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that
Yeah.
division has really, instead again, has really evolved over the years. I mean, you're seeing women now moving from like one example. You were at Arizona, like someone like Ashley Jones, who was figure. Now she's physique and women's bodybuilding.
Mhm.
I know Jessica a few years ago did a dip in physique, but went back to figure. And even if you look at physique and women's bodybuilding, they're starting to change. It's like they're kind of when physique was brought in, it was supposed to be the alternative for women who got into bodybuilding. But now you're
Okay.
seeing women who are moving up from that division, and I don't know if this is me. I don't think that they really sat down and set a criteria for both figure or physique or women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, with anything, sports going to evolve. I know at some point they were trying to like pull things back, which was unfortunate when they got rid of women's bodybuilding because all these women who have like done that for years were kind of left in the dust, which is BS. You know, the interesting thing is the more and more you're in bodybuilding and the more you continue to grow, your body's going to change. Like you can't just stay the same. Like, I mean, there's genetic people like Sid Gillian is going to be a figure queen forever. Like she's not going to grow out of figure because she's dialed in, right? The rest of us, we put more muscle on. Like I put more muscle on, I got to move up, right? That's how it is. I don't think Jessica will ever move up, but Ashley Jones, she's evolved. Like she started as figure. I met her a while back, and actually, when I met her, she was like, "Oh, you're a physique, right?" And I was like, "No, I'm figure." And she's like, "You should do physique." So I was like, "Well, I've been hearing this for like over. I mean, I've been hearing this for like 8 years that I should do physique, and I finally just did it. I should have done it a long time ago because it was super fun, and I really enjoyed the posing better, and like it's the experience of being on stage and getting to do a routine like that was amazing. I was intimidated by it for a really long time. Um, but yeah, I don't know. With any sport, things are going to evolve and people are going to grow. So unfortunately, like I think they need to dial it in a little bit more. But how do you do that? How do you tell people, okay, well then this is going to be figure now, and we're going to put you like in this criteria, and this is only physique, and this is only bodybuilding, when there's so many different judges and everything's subjective. Like how do you make it work with everybody's opinions and mindsets, and oh, I know that person or I don't know that person, and you know, it's subjective. We can't make each person's mind think the same way as like a piece of paper.
Yeah, and also everybody's genetics is different. Some people are genetically gifted. Some people have to work hard. I mean, there's so much to it, especially with women. Women, you're supposed to have a cap, but the guys can get bigger and bigger. Just so Big Rami's not going to do the Olympia this year. He's dropping out. You look at guys like Big Rami, you look at
Right.
guys like Derek Lungford, you look at Heidi Chopin, you look at Samson Dewar. Those guys can keep like that's why I created men's classic because they felt like they wanted to pull it in and wanted the vision to go back. Even the guys like Chris Bumstead, you look at him, he could maybe do 212, but I think he's more dialed in for men's classic.
Oh, I don't think he could do 212. He'd stand way out.
Yeah, yeah. We have a
Yeah.
comment from
Well,
a man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say with genetics, yeah, they still have to work hard too, though. Like even if you're genetically gifted, you still got to work your ass off. Like that's the good thing about bodybuilding is like everybody who steps on stage, everybody's earned that spot. They're not there just because they're genetically blessed. Like you got to earn it.
Yeah, but it does often helps
Yeah.
with genetics. So we got
Yeah.
here my man Stefan Prey. Shout out to Stefan says, do you plan to stay in Physique? So as you know, you say you moved up. So are you going to be planning? Because there's just a few more shows left for the season, but this be for qualification for next year. Are you thinking about maybe competing for next year's Olympic qualification, or just take the time to grow?
Um, yes, I plan on staying in Physique. I think that's what he asked. Yes, 100%. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I am done for the season. I'm taking 6 months to grow. I was gonna do legions. But I got off stage and talked to my coach, and he's like, Chelsea, you've been prep since November. It's mentally, and I've been through a lot this year, so it was time to pull back and like dial it in. And going from figure and then 3 months later hitting physique and getting top 10 in masters, I was like, I'm happy. Like we just need to fine tune some things now. I mean, realistically, I've been in figure for 8, 9, 10 years, so we gotta grow a little. We gotta get wider lats. The legs gotta get a little bit bigger so I can have more of a X frame. We gotta work on the delts, the triceps, biceps. So there is just some growth coming up, but I am staying in physique for sure. For sure,
Mm-hmm.
100%. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Here's from man Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to him. Lawrence coming through. He says, "Good evening, Chelsea, George, and everyone in the chat." Thank you, Lawrence. Good evening to you, brother. So, folks, we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into Chelsea's social media. You want to follow her? Her links in the description. Check her out. She's also, so again, she's a coach. So, if you're someone who's not a competitor, maybe just wants some lifestyle changes, reach out to her. I mean, I know I need to do more for myself, but you know what? I'm kind of curmudgeon. I'm set my ways sometimes, but I'm getting a little better at it. So, folks, we're gonna jump into her social media for a bit. And here she is. And I see there is right here, ignite your fitness journey. So when did you start becoming a coach?
A year ago, I really honed in on it and decided, you know what, I've been training forever, but I decided a year ago I wanted to start coaching, and um, it's just blown up ever since then. It's been amazing. I have people all across the US. I do mostly online coaching. I do some in-person training if you're in Idaho, at Boise Iron Gym, but I have people all across the US, the UK, New Zealand, Australia. So it's been amazing.
Mhm. And also, this is some pictures you took with Sean Nelson. I interviewed Sean a while back. He's a great guy. He does great photo work with some of you ladies. And this was right after the Arizona Pro. He did Photoshop.
This was actually the day before we took these photos. I was blessed to be the very first one out. So it was a 7 a.m. On a Friday. And I was like, I'm so happy I got the first spot because Arizona's hot. Hot, hot. I was already sweating and I didn't want to you don't want to be out in the heat right before a show because then you hold water.
Yeah, especially if you be lucky you didn't have your tanning on, because that'd be the worst. You'd be like looking like you're melting. You're like, and also said again, your other job is dental hygienist. When you started that, and how long you been doing it?
20 years. I've been in the dental field since I was 21, which is crazy. I'm cutting back my hours though. I only work Monday through Wednesday starting October, in the office so I can spend more time with my clients.
Yeah. And here's this.
But
This
yeah,
is
I've been
right
doing it
here.
forever.
Yeah, I know another lady who's also dental hygienist. That's Sherry Piami. If you know that, she does that for quite a time. It's like you try. I know one thing is the people you work with. Do they ever come to your shows? Do they ever give you feedback on what they see when you compete?
So when I was a amateur and I got to do a local show, they did come and watch, but they all support me. They watch me go through it day in and day out and say no to the crumble cookies and all the junk that comes into an office, which is crazy. but yeah, they're super supportive. My coworkers are amazing. Honestly, like I think they've probably stopped me before from like picking at food or I do feel bad for them sometimes though, because when I get in those moods, like everybody has their prep moods, and I'm just quiet and like try not to be a jerk. But there's been moments. One of the doctors came up to me one day during prep, and he was like, "I miss carb Chelsea," and I was like, "I miss carb Chelsea too."
And it's good to have that support because you know what, this is a tough
Yeah,
sport, especially for a woman. This is a sport that can really take
yeah,
a lot, mentally, physically, financially, because compared to the men's divisions, they all got to wear is hair, banana hammocks and board shorts. But you ladies have to look presentable, look very feminine. It's just so much expense to the sport.
yeah. And that's the blessing about having sponsors is, I have a suit sponsor, Vicky Ross. She made my suit. I told her just you pick. I don't care. You pick. You're the expert. So that's the nice thing. I have sponsors. I have help. I have great companies behind me. So I don't think I could do it without their support. To be honest, it's like you need a village. You need everybody backing you up, and you need people to lean on because there's moments in prep where you're like, gosh, I feel like you second guess things. And the the first time I ever just gave over all my stress to my coach and said, you know what, I pay you to teach me and to get me there, I'm just gonna go for it. And yeah, it's expensive, but I think that's my number one thing I tell new competitors too that come to me. Like, if you're not financially ready for this, you need to get financially ready because it's expensive. Like, it's not what do they say? It's not a poor man's sport.
Yes, well, I know from people telling me that, yeah, it is a poor man's sport because the fact is, compared to any other sport where you can make a living off of it, where you have, benefits, like if something happens, you have life insurance, health insurance. Bodybuilding don't have all those
Yeah.
benefits. Only it has those good health benefits in the long run, but it's like I said, it's a extreme sport. And most people will never understand what it takes to get to the levels what you men and women do. I mean, to say the quote is I often like to quote this from Ronnie Coleman says, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one want to lift a heavy ass weight. You know. This
Yeah.
is from,
That's
yeah, yeah. This is from my man Russ G. Russ G also does photography, and he's a great guy. He's here. He's next door at South Carolina. He says, "Howdy, howdy there, Russ." Also, this is from your
howdy.
boy Adam. He says this. He says, "Do I have good genetics?" So you have good genetics. Yes, you
Yes, you
coach.
do. Stop. You know you do. You know you do. Stop it.
Yeah, you're like his.
Yes, he has good genetics.
You're like his Mick to his Rocky. Like say yeah, you're gonna fall down sometimes, Rocky. And you hear a little injury your shoulder. You say, "Yep, you son of a bitch. Chelsea loves ya." I say, this is also this is from a man, Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence. He says, "Keep up the great work, Miss Chelsea. You inspire others around the world." Yeah, and also it's from a man,
Aw.
KL. He says, "Nice glutes,"
Yep.
and also,
Those took years to grow, so thank you.
yeah, and also the art of warrior and champion. And that's from my man Lawrence Perkins. Yeah. So at the Arizona Pro, what do the judges tell you? The critiques to give you? Because often I know like competitors ask the critiques and see what you need to improve, what you need to work on. What was their assessment of you?
I didn't ask. I never ask. I never ask the judges, and the reason is I'm usually hungry and I want to go eat. So I just don't say. And so I just follow with what my coach wants, what my coach says. I mean, you could ask a judge. I asked Steve DeVore when I was in the other ones because I had time. I just was like, I want to go eat. I don't want to wait. But I didn't ask. So I just follow with what my coach says because actually the crappy thing is sometimes you can go to one show and a judge will say something and you change that and then you go to another show and that judge says another thing that you already had and they told you to change it. So it's just subjective. Like you just got to show up your best and that's all you can do. You show up your best and you hope they like your look that day and someone else didn't show up to beat you, you know? It's never that's the thing with bodybuilding. You can just never know. You just got to go and show up your best. People always like look up other competitors and try to compare themselves. And realistically, like you can compare yourself all you want, but it's not up to you. It's up to the judge. The judge is
Mm.
going to say yay or nay that day. You could have the look they want or not. And that's the tough thing about it. You got to take that out of it because a lot of people get really upset when they don't win, and it's like, did you show up better than you showed up last time? Do you feel better? Are you happy with your performance? Those are the things that count right there. Um, you know, you can't,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't ask the judges for a lot of reasons, but I wanted to go eat was probably the number one. I was hungry.
Yeah, I think often the judges' critiques are sometimes subjective. Most competitors will ask. I think I only heard one person say she doesn't ask. That's Anna Harris. She said she never asked the judges. And then you always want to feel like you come in your best shape. Like one thing is what's the thing you feel like you need to work on the most, and what's your feel like your best quality physically?
So the thing I need to work on the most is always conditioning. It's always conditioning of my glutes and hamstrings. For some reason, I can never get them conditioned enough. So we're gonna start leaner this year and try to just go in, you know, get in harder, I guess. Like just get more conditioned, more cardio. It is what it is. And then my best quality is definitely my back. My back is rocking all the time. Even in off season, I get to have cuts and giant muscles back there. So, but back day, I mean, I love lifting back. Like I can do pull-ups like crazy, and that's definitely my best quality is my back. Now, other people would say other things, but what I think is my back.
Yeah, I've often heard this that the back can make or break how you place at a show. Some competitors can look good
Hmm.
from the front, but then if the back's not all together, then you just maybe not place as well. Just to be a complete athlete, you have to work on everything. You know,
Yeah.
and when you're working out, what's your least and favorite workout when you're training?
My least.